Starting pay-earn protocol, improving carts. Charging batteries. Loading. Complete.
Hello everyone, again we are back here in Wavre, Belgium for the final day of racing in Saudi World Series E-Sprint, and we are getting ready for second heat. And before the second heats for each group, we'll have a very short qualifying session. Only 3 minutes for qualifying. That means 3 laps and actually 2 flying laps for everyone going out on the track with the same groups as started in the first heat, but with an opportunity for everyone to get a better starting position. Or worse, all depends on 2 flying laps. Here we are in Wavre Indoor Karting. The first group of drivers already waiting at the exit of the pit line. We have an opposite direction today. The right direction, or the usual direction for this track. We were racing yesterday, but today everything is new. The new layout for everyone. They got just a few practice sessions yesterday after the finals, and now we're going through the track in opposite direction as usual. We already got a very, very fast lap time from Axel Sarniala. He is the only one who managed to go into 46 seconds on this track in one direction or another. No one has been there in 46 seconds around the track. In 46.8, Axel Sarniala went in qualifying, getting first place overall in qualifying, and also in his first race, in first heat, Sarniala was only 0.05 of a second off his own qualifying time, and now the first group of drivers is back on the track fighting for their qualifying laps, 2 flying laps, fighting for starting positions for the second heat. And then to the finals, we will regroup the drivers, taking into account both results in both heats merge. So now we have drivers in the same group who are split by the most margins between their qualifying lap times at the morning. But to the finals, they will get together with the drivers with a similar pace, with a similar speed, with a similar lap times. So in the finals, the battles will be more intense, even more intense as we have seen in the first heat. Now it's time for second heat. It is Clement Esposito, Gianni Arcieri now on the track, Gary Sooks and Adam Heng, Ronnie Rautala, Sergio Chico Gonzalez, Baptiste van der Beek is now starting his first proper flying lap. Baptiste van der Beek now going through the third sector, number 25 on van der Beek's car, and he is ending the lap now through the last corners, which were the first corners during yesterday's races, and 47.7 is first flying lap for Baptiste van der Beek. Gianni Arcieri is second with 48.0, then Clement Esposito. Here is number 17 of Antoine Wies, currently in P4 in this short qualifying session. Here comes Clement Esposito down the bridge at the end of the lap. And Clement Esposito is third with 47.8 in front of Antoine Wies. Gianni Arcieri still third, now improving his lap times in this lap, but this is already a last lap in this qualifying. The red flag is on, the qualifying is over. Baptiste van der Beek will start from P1. Yesterday, that was the only mishap for Baptiste van der Beek. He won the qualifying, he won the first heat, and then in this short qualifying before the second, van der Beek was only third. Today, everything goes perfect for Baptiste van der Beek. He is leading the point standings after yesterday. He is still leading the point standings after first heats today, and now he will start from pole position again. Gianni Arcieri is second, Clement Esposito third, Adam Heng will start fourth. In P5, Antoine V, then Gary Sooks. In P6, Matteo Grappolini is seventh, then Balazs Suts, Ronnie Rautala, Sergio Chico Gonzalez completes top 10, then Alexander Peffer and Enrico Camarata. Here comes our safety car. Rotax electric go-kart is a safety car for today. We have a rolling start, not standing, and in one file, not side by side as yesterday, to this direction on the track is more dangerous and more demanding than the right direction which we were racing yesterday, so we do not have a standing start side by side. We will start rolling after the safety car, and at the end of formation lap, safety car will go into the pits, and as the green flag drops, the race will begin. Here is 20, Matteo Grappolini, 7th on the grid. The 6 cars are there. Grappolini are counting them there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, and 7th for Matteo Grappolini in number 12. There goes Gary Sooks in number 28. So, yes, we counted the safety car too. It was 5 cars in front of Grappolini. Now he is in his 7th starting place, followed by Balázs Zutz, and Ronnie Rautala comes with number 11. Then Sergio Chico Gonzalez, number 1, Alexander Peyfer with 5, and Enrico Camarata with 12. And formation lap has started. After yesterday's races, Baptiste van der Beek already had 12 points advantage. Axel Sarniela, winning the qualifying this morning, cut 2 points off this advantage. They are going through the first heat with the wins. Van der Beek won the first race in the first heat. Axel Sarniela won his race in the first heat. So now they are going with the same amount of points, and it's 10 points between Van der Beek and Sarniela. Now, during this day, between them, there is Patrick Porta, who also won his race in the first heat in a Group D. So also the same points for Patrick Porta, and leaders are still fighting for overall rankings in 2 days combined. But now safety car on the starting straight and going into the pit lane, and Baptiste van der Beek leading the pack into the first lap, followed by Gianni Arcieri, Clement Esposito and Adam Heng. Gianni Arcieri did the one overtaking move in the first heat. That was great, that was perfect, and he went into the top 3 with that move. Will he do something alike in this race? Can he pass Baptiste van der Beek? It is very dangerous opponent now right behind Baptiste van der Beek with Gianni Arcieri. Already yesterday we saw him overtaking during the race, gaining positions on the track. Now he is right behind Baptiste van der Beek, but during first lap van der Beek is pulling away. Already 0.4 between them. That still is enough for Arcieri to try to fight with van der Beek. Clement Esposito was second behind van der Beek in the first heat today. Now is running third behind Arcieri. Here they are, 3 leaders of this race, followed by Adam Heng in 4th, Antoine V in 5th, and Gary Sooks in 6th. Adam Heng losing ground to Clement Esposito. Top 3 drivers pulling away. It's Adam Heng who's number 23. Here is Clement Esposito, number 19, chasing Gianni Arcieri with number 22. And there in front is Baptiste van der Beek with number 25. And van der Beek still leading the overall points standings for both days combined. And that is not enough to win a final in first day or to win a final in second day. You have to be in front in both days together with the points scores combined, and then only then you will become a Saudi E-Sprint champion in 2025. Now Baptiste van der Beek is doing everything to get his title. He missed that last year with one very unfortunate mistake with the weights and ballast, and now van der Beek is running through those 2 days of racing almost perfect and maintaining his lead in overall scores. But here, van der Beek is leading with 0.8 in front of Gianni Arcieri. Arcieri is falling a little bit back. That is already, we can say, a comfortable cushion for Baptiste van der Beek in the front, 0.8. That is a good distance. Gianni Arcieri is still close enough to try to fight. but he needs at least half a second closer to get to Baptiste van der Beek to try to overtake him on the track. And now Clement Esposito is closer to Gianni Arcieri. Now he is chasing Arcieri, and can Esposito repeat his success from first heat and finish second in front of Arcieri? Esposito was ninth in the standings after yesterday point score, with just 1 point missing to Andrejs Leipniek's 8th place, and just 4 points missing to Enzo Gagnage's 7th place, and only 2 points more for Alex Mrotzko in P6. That's a very, very intense battle in the overall scoring too. Here is Gianni Arcieri with the best lap time so far. 1/10 shoving off the Baptiste van der Beek's lead. Now there is a 0.7, but that is still too much for Gianni Arcieri to think about overtaking. So far we have seen when the distance is 0.3 between the drivers, that is the moment when you can start to think about overtaking or do something on the track. There is again 1 second between Van der Beek and Arcieri. There is 0.3 between Arcieri and Esposito. Now it's time for Clement Esposito. Can he do something? Can he overtake Arcieri and get one more second place in today's heats? Because for the finals, drivers will be regrouped according to their results in both heats combined. Esposito was second in first, now is running third, but it seems he is faster than Arcieri. They are falling back from Van der Beek. There is only 0.2 between Arcieri and Esposito. They are fighting for the second place now. Almost 5 minutes already spent on the track. More than second ahead is Baptiste van der Beek in the first place. One more lap completed, 1 second advantage of Van der Beek, and only few tenths between Arcieri and Esposito. Here is number 23 of Adam Heng. He is chased by Antoine V with number 17, Gary Souk with number 28, and Matteo Grappolini with number 20. That is a fight for fourth place, from 4th till 7th. After them coming Balázs Zutz and Ronnie Rautala fighting for 8th, and Alexander Peifer, Sergio Chico Gonzalez and Enrico Camarata fighting for P10. And this is Baptiste van der Beek. 6.5 minutes to go in this race. Van der Beek is leading by 1.4 seconds now. Second place, Gianni Arcieri. Clement Esposito is a third new lap record for Baptiste van der Beek, and that sets him off for 4 more tenths in this race. It's 1.4 already, and here is the fight for 4th with Adam Heng and Antoine V. V with number 17, Heng with number 23 in front, and right behind them are coming Gary Souk and Matteo Grappolini. Half of the race done. Less than 6 minutes to go. Number 20 of Matteo Grappolini in P7. In front of him, Gary Souk with number 28. And then we fighting with Heng for an P4. Esposito still behind Arcieri, still 0.4 seconds between them. We now are watching the fight for P4 and P6. Adam Heng with Antoine V, Gary Souk with Matteo Grappolini. Grappolini close enough to do something here, going up to the bridge for the first time on this lap. Grappolini very, very close, then going downhill. Here is the place to try to overtake someone. Without moves goes Grappolini, also Antoine V still following Adam Heng. 1.6 seconds for Baptiste van der Beek in the lead, 0.4 between Arcieri and Esposito. Will there be a fight for a second place or not? We have 4 minutes to go. Here is fight for 4th and fight for 6th places on the track. Gary Souk with 28 is currently 6th, followed by Matteo Grappolini with 20. And here number 11, Rautala fighting with Balázs Zutz for P8. Baptiste van der Berg is alone at the front of this race with a 1.8 seconds advantage, almost 2 seconds away from Arcieri. Arcieri by a very small margin, but increasing his gap in front of Clément Esposito. Here is Arcieri and Esposito. Again, Esposito comes a bit closer, 0.3. Again, we are in the distance of fight, in the distance of overtaking. Esposito was falling back for 2 laps, and now one quicker lap put him back in the fight for the second place on the track. Arcieri answers with a new record in the first sector of the lap. In a second, both of them going a little bit slower. There is Adam Henk still fighting with Antoine V. Clément Esposito, number 19, chasing hard Gianni Arcieri. Esposito needs second place to hold his rankings in top 10 overall. Now he is driving third after Arcieri, and Baptiste van der Berg is pulling away. One more best lap time from Baptiste van der Berg, 47.2. That's already 2 tenths better than, almost 3 tenths better when he went in qualifying early in the morning. Today we had a reverse order for qualifying, and Baptiste van der Berg was in the first group on the track in qualifying. But we saw the lap times improving through the qualifying sessions, and in the last qualifying session, Axel Sarnial set the absolutely best lap time. But anyway, through the first heats, no one else was matching Sarnial's lap times. So that was not because of order of qualifying. It's just something incredible Sarnial has done on the track, has found on the track, and he was anyway faster than anybody else from 98 drivers here in a Saudi World Series. Sarnial was still going 46 seconds around this lap, even in first heat. Here is Clément Esposito still chasing Gianni Arcieri, fighting for the second place. We have a few pairs of the drivers here, 28 and 20. Those are Gary Sux and Matteo Grappolini fighting for P6. In front of them, Heng and V fighting for P4. Arcieri and Esposito fighting for second, and Baptiste van der Berg is alone in the front, 2.2 seconds. Baptiste van der Berg, and here he goes in a go-kart number 25, a little bit more than 1 minute, maybe 2 laps till the finish line. Baptiste van der Berg up on the bridge, but there is a fight behind him for Arcieri and Esposito. Baptiste van der Berg closing to the finish in this race, last minute in front of us, and here is Clément Esposito. He has got second. Esposito in front of Arcieri. 2 laps to go, and Esposito finally goes in front. Now he is second. Gianni Arcieri down to third. It's the same result as in first heat for Clément Esposito. There are at least 2 laps to go still from now. Esposito is in front. Can Arcieri do something and regain his position? Esposito now is second. Baptiste van der Berg is already 4 seconds away in front. Still Henk fighting with V, Sux fighting with Grappolini, Rautala defending his position from Balázs Zutz, but Clément Esposito got in front of Gianni Arcieri. Now he is driving defensive from the middle of the track into the corner. Arcieri is trying to find better lines going in the corners and then gain better speed coming out. There is checkered flag, only 1 lap, and Baptiste van der Berg takes the win. That is Clément Esposito, who is second on the finish line. Celebrating this move on penultimate lap. Great overtaking from Clément Esposito. Gianni Arcieri was not able to hold with Baptiste van der Berg to get the same speed. The best lap times actually are very, very similar, but Clément Esposito and Gianni Arcieri were doing the same lap times as Baptiste van der Berg at the beginning of the race, and then they were getting slower and slower, and van der Berg got away. Baptiste Vanderbeek took the second win of this day, also second heat in a first position for Baptiste Vanderbeek. So far everything is great for a Belgian driver, and he is going to fight for a championship title here in Saudi World Series E-Sprint Finals. One more race, one more victory for Baptiste Vanderbeek. Clement Esposito is still second and maintaining his hopes to fight for position in top 10 in overall rankings here. Gianni Arcieri over the finish line in third, and Adam Heng, Antoine V, Gary Stooks and Matteo Grappolini. At the end of the top 10, Ronnie Rautala, Balazs Schutz and Alexander Peyfea. And outside of top 10 was Sergio Chico Gonzalez and Enrico Camarata. Few moments from this race, we have started the second heat of this day, second series of heats, and then we will be ready for finals. Each winner of the final receives a special prize, and then the winner of the A final are going on the event podium, and then from both days combined we will get the winner of the World Series E-Sprint Finals, and both days combined will determine who will be the champion here in Wavre Indoor Karting in a third year of E-Sprint Finals in Saudi World Series. Baptiste Vanderbeek pulling away from everyone during this race. Clement Esposito was left fighting with Gianni Arcieri through the whole race, and 2 laps before the finish line, Esposito finds his spot on the track and went in front of Arcieri, repeating his success from the first heat. There too, Vanderbeek was first and Esposito was second.
Five years ago now that we've been using the kart. It's been a journey of exploration and learning for the company. It's been really good. You know, the batteries are exactly the same battery as when we launched, which I think is really impressive when you think that we've had well over 2,000 charging cycles. Even with the powertrain, you know, it really means that there's no maintenance with this product, and I think this is really a credit to the guys at Rotax to develop such a robust car. And if you look at the performance, when you consider the weight that we carry at the moment, it is really impressive.
For second group of drivers going on the track, we have one more short qualifying session, one more qualifying session with only 2 opportunities to get the best lap time possible. 3 laps on the track, only 2 flying laps. You cannot go fast enough right out of the pit lane to set the fastest lap in the first lap. So the first is like a warm-up, and then you have only 2 laps left to fight for your position on the starting grid for the second heat. It's Enzo Gagnage with number 15, it's Thibaut Petrona with number 10, Alex Mrotzko with number 3, Mika Snellman, kart number 9, 16 for Martin Papan, 30 for Marco Massoli, Maxim Kuhn in number 31, 32 for Morgan Tevena, Joni Lorenzi, number 2, Laura Veterova, 24, Ayrton Comi, 4, Patrick Bonomi, 27, and Ville Vilento, 29. The qualification has started. First flying lap now on the track for a qualification. Enzo Gagnage took the win in the first heat in this group. And Alex Mrotzko, who is also fighting in top 10 in overall rankings, was third in first heat today. It is his opportunity to go better in this race, even in a qualifying. Now Kuhn with the best lap time. Papan moving to first. Veterova up to third place. Thibaut Petrona during his flying lap now. It's Alex Mrotzko setting the best lap time of 47.6. Morgan Tevena going up to fourth. But Mrotzko is leading with 2 records in the first and second sector. Now this lap starts slower for Alex Mrotzko, but anyway, he is leading. Enzo Gagnage now coming to an end of his first proper qualifying lap, and it is P4 for Enzo Gagnage so far. One more lap to go. Just started next flying lap. Enzo Gagnage, can he move further up? It's already a checkered flag for Maxim Kuhn. He is down to P5. Martin Papan over the finish line in second. Now getting second starting position. Alex Mrotzko still is leading with 47.6. And how fast can go Enzo Gagnage? Now he is improving his time in first sector. He is a little bit slower in sector 2. And now the last part of the track. Enzo Gagnage was last out of the pit lane and last starting the qualifying laps. And now he is trying to improve his starting position. Gagnage over the finish line, and he stays fifth. So the winner of heat number 1, one of the top 7 qualifiers in the morning, now will start this race from P5. Gagnage in P5, Thibaut Petrona from P4, Marco Massoli third, Martin Papan second, and Alex Mrotzko is in the pole position right behind safety car. Alex Mrotzko has just got first starting position in this race. He had already 2 points advantage after yesterday racing over Enzo Gagnage. Alex Mrotzko was 6th overall after first day of racing. Now he lost a few points to Enzo Gagnage in a first race. Now he had a much better starting position than previous winner Enzo Gagnage. From 5th goes Enzo Gagnage, from 1st goes Alex Mrotzko. That is the opportunity of Alex Mrotzko. Maybe go to even top 5, and there even the podium is not far away. So very, very great qualification for the second heat for Alex Mrotzko. He is first behind safety car, followed by Martin Papan, Marco Massoli, Thibaut Petrona, and Enzo Gagnage is starting 5th. Here is Thibaut Petrona in number 10, Enzo Gagnage with number 15, Maxim Kuhn 31, Mika Snellman number 9, Morgan Tevena with the number 32, and we are approaching to the end of the lap. A safety car still in front. This is formation lap for this race. The group F of the drivers now on the track for the second time going up to the bridge. Still after safety car. 3 corners till the starting straight. Last 2 corners. Going through them in the qualification order, it's number 15 for Enzo Gagnage. He's in P5. They start accelerating. Safety car goes into the pit lane. The first 5, 6, 7 drivers through the first corners. A small crash between Maxim Kuhn and Mika Snellman going into the second corner. But all the leaders maintain their places just for in a qualifying. In this short qualifying, which brings so much surprises. We already saw yesterday Baptist Vanderbeek starting P3, and now it is Enzo Gagnage starting only P5. Alex Mrotzko is leading, followed by Martin Papan in number 16, then Marco Massoli in number 30. They're going in front of Thibaut Petrona. What can do Enzo Gagnage? Can he gain positions? Can he finish in a better than a 5th? He is running right now. It's Mika Snellman down to P8 after a short fight with Morgan Tevena. Snellman with number 9, Tevena with number 32, here going to the next corner. And Alex Brodzko is leading by 0.3. Martin Papan is very, very close behind. That is close enough to fight for a position. What will do Martin Papan? Will he fight at the beginning of the race? Will he wait for the last laps to do that? Marco Massoli 3rd, Thibaut Petrona 4th. Here in front of number 4 is Ville Vilento with 29. And leaders back on the starting straight. Trying to fight for position is Thibaut Petrona with number 10. Right in front of him is Marco Massoli with number 30. Here they are, Massoli, Petrona and Gagnage. Gagnage still in P5, unable to improve after this unsuccessful qualifying session. Alex Mrotzko 0.4 in front of Papan. Papan already almost second in front of Marco Massoli. And here is Enzo Gagnage with number 15 on his car, still running 5th. And behind him Maxim Kuhn with 31. One more lap completed, 0.3 between Mrotzko and Papan. Papan still close enough to try to overtake Alex Mrotzko any place on the track. Marco Massoli is 3rd. There is 0.6 between Massoli and Papan. 4 tenths further is Thibaut Petrona and Enzo Gagnage and Maxim Kuhn. Everyone within 1 second of driver in front of them. Then Tevena is just a little bit further away, followed by Mika Snellman. They are fighting for P7. Here goes Maxim Kuhn with 31, and then we have to wait a moment to see Morgan Tevena and Mika Snellman with 32 and 9. There is Maxim Kuhn right behind the winner of first heat, Enzo Gagnage. Gagnage is driving 5th. He is losing 7 tenths of a second to Thibaut Petrona. So far, he was not able to do anything about his position on the track. Still 5th is the winner of the first race of this day and one of top 7 qualifiers at the morning, Enzo Gagnage. Now he's losing points to Alex Mrotzko. Mrotzko is leading, and that is his opportunity to get even into top 5 and maybe even think about podium in both days overall. 0.2 seconds between leaders. Papan is very close behind Mrotzko. Behind them, Massoli, Petrona, Gagnage and Kuhn. Then here comes number 24 of Laura Veterova. He's fighting Ville Vilento behind her with number 29. There is number 3 of Alex Mrotzko right in front of Martin Papan. Massoli 3rd, Petrona 4th, Gagnage still 5th, followed by Maxim Kuhn. 5 minutes spent on the track, 7 to go. Let's go to the last corner, back on the starting straight, 0.5. This lap has been a little bit faster for Alex Mrotzko. He is pulling away, but those are just 0.2 of a second. Mrotzko is increasing this gap. Still, Papan is dangerously close to Alex Mrotzko, leading position of this race. Massoli, Petrona, Ganyaj and Kuhn fighting for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, and Morgateva now with Mika Snellman fighting for 7th. Joni Lorenzi driving in 9th place now with go-kart number 2. He is quite lonely there on the track, more than second behind Snellman, more than 2 seconds in front of Laura Veterova. Veterova now is in P10, but chased by Ville Vilento and Ayrton Komi. That's number 3 of Alex Mrotzko, and here we are trying to overtake on a starting straight. Ville Vilento and Laura Veterova fighting for P10. Here we are watching Alex Mrotzko and Martin Papan. Again, 0.3, 0.2 seconds, one fast lap for Alex Mrotzko, and in the very next lap, Martin Papan answers with a new record of lap time in this race with 47.4 and is back again right after Alex Mrotzko, trying to fight for the win in this race. Also only 0.7 to the 3rd place, Marco Massoli. Mrotzko in front, Papan following. The corner before the first bridge, they are going uphill now. Wide lines for Mrotzko and for Papan. No one is trying to defend still. Over halfway through this race, 5 minutes left to race. Is Papan waiting for last laps to do his move to try to get in front of Alex Mrotzko? Is he able to pull a pass on Mrotzko? One more lap completed, less than 5 minutes to go. Papan is still 0.3 seconds behind Mrotzko, but without a move, without any tries to overtake the leader. Marco Massoli 7/10 further back, a little bit bigger gap between 2nd and 3rd, and Massoli is followed by Thibaut Petrona, Enzo Ganyaj and Maxim Kuhn. Here is fight for 7th, Morgateva and Mika Snellman, 32 and 9. Leaders on the bridge for a second time and approaching the end of the lap. Here fight for a P10 between Ville Vilento, Laura Veterova and Ayrton Komi. But 2 leaders going through the corners lap by lap. Alex Mrotzko leading and Martin Papan in 2nd place. Less than 4 minutes till the finish. Here is Papan with number 16, and in front of him Alex Mrotzko is number 3. Down from the bridge and through the next corner. We have seen overtaking maneuvers there, and on this short straight it almost always ended with a car hitting the outside barriers on the track. The second time on the bridge up is Alex Mrotzko there. Martin Papan following with a 0.3 seconds, setting the best lap time of this race for 47.4. And going inside, it is Ayrton Komi fighting with Laura Veterova. Vilento Ville is number 29, Laura Veterova is number 24. And also we have a fight for the win. Almost side by side through the corner goes Papan and Mrotzko. Here they are fighting for the first position. Down the order also fight for P10. But here comes Alex Mrotzko and Martin Papan fighting for the win in this race. 2.5 minutes to race. Still a long way to go. A lot of laps to do in this race. Martin Papan has been very close behind Mrotzko whole race, but there is Thibaut Petrona who goes through up to 3rd in front of Marco Massoli. We are still watching fight for the win in this race. Alex Mrotzko and Martin Papan. Here comes Thibaut Petrona behind them. There is a gap of less than second for Petrona. Number 10 is now running third in front of Marco Massoli. They have lost a few tenths to Mrotzko and Papan. Here is Alex Mrotzko on the bridge. 1.5 minutes to go. Mrotzko through the last corners, closely followed by Martin Papan, going through the starting straight and into the first and second corner. One more overtaking opportunity. Here are Petrona, Massoli, Gagnage and Kuhn fighting from positions from third till sixth. And exit of the corner, almost side by side. Up the hill goes Martin Papan. He got better exit of the corner, also narrower line, and they are side by side again. It's not enough space for Martin Papan. He is trying now in almost every lap to get in front of Alex Mrotzko. Last minute on the track, last laps of this race. Alex Mrotzko still in front. Martin Papan following him by 0.3 seconds whole race, whole 12 minutes, and now this is last or penultimate lap, 1 or 2 laps till the end, with number 10 Thibaut Petrona a few laps ago got into P3. Now Marco Massoli is trying to get his position back. Enzo Gagnage is 5th and Maxim Kuhn 6th. Here they are going up on the bridge for the first time in this lap. It's Thibaut Petrona with number 10, but here are the leaders. Alex Mrotzko in front, Martin Papan following. Here comes 10 of Thibaut Petrona and 30 of Marco Massoli. The last seconds in this race. The checkered flag is out already. They are coming through the last corner, and it is Alex Mrotzko who takes the win. Martin Papan is second. Then comes Thibaut Petrona. Got his third place in a very late stages of this heat. And then Marco Massoli lost P3 and then over finish line in P4. Enzo Gagnage is 5th. The winner of first heat lost in this short qualifying, started 5th and finished 5th. So 5th place for Enzo Gagnage, 6th for Maxim Kuhn, 7th is Morgan Tevena, Mika Snellman in P8, 9th for Johnny Lorenzi, 10th for Willi Vilento, then Patrick Bonomi, Laura Veterova and Ayrton Komi. The second heat is over for this group. Great race, says Martin Papan. Great race, says Alex Mrotzko. And that was a very needed success for Mrotzko after third place in a first heat. And Gagnage winning. Now Mrotzko wins the second heat and Gagnage is only 5th. So that means Alex Mrotzko is moving in front of Gagnage, is moving away from Gagnage in overall points scoring and going closer to top 5 and maybe even to the podium. So great expectations for the finals for Alex Mrotzko. He just have to get into a final and then everything will be open, every opportunities will be open. Here is Alex Mrotzko after this short qualifying laps, leading the pack into the second heat. A few crashes during the first 2 corners, but without any big changes on the track. But anyway, at the front, Mrotzko was leading. Here we see Laura Veterova fighting hard with Patrick Bonomi, with Ayrton Komi, with Vilento Ville. At the beginning of the race, Laura Veterova got into top 10, then was losing some places, and over the finish line, Veterova is in P12. But Mrotzko and Papan racing hard, whole 12 minutes, just 0.3 seconds between them. A few overtaking tries from Martin Papan, but Alex Mrotzko maintained his lead and is over the finish line in first. There was a hard fight for third place too. Marco Massoli was running third the majority of the race, and Thibaut Petrona in closing laps was able to go through and step up to the third place in this race. Willi Vilento with number 29, followed by Laura Veterova with 24. and fight for the third place. Side by side, going Petrona and Marco Massoli, and then from the exit of the second corner, cutting short on the exit line, goes in front Thibaut Petrona. Great overtaking from Petrona, changing his line in the second corner and got him in the front of Marco Massoli. It seems like Massoli maintained his position, but here we see the fight for the lead. That was all what Martin Papan was able to do, get side by side with Alex Mrozko, but no more. And at the finish line, Alex Mrozko took the win in heat number 2. We are in Wavre. Next qualifying session has started. There is William Kneppen on the track with number 18, Carlos Caney with number 23, Mirko Pascaletti with 22, Massimo Criscolo with 25, 28 for Jesse Nissinen, Emanuele Signorini number 5, 17 for Albert Ingo, René Lutzenkirchen in 12, Theo Janček 20, Jérôme Choquet 8, Herdy Fosi 26, Kyle Volkerts number 1 and Oli Horko with 11. The qualifying session containing only 2 fast laps has started. And now Albert Ingo leading with 47.8, William Kneppen moving to front with 47.7. Sasha Mabio won the first heat in this group. Now he has only 6th best lap time so far. He is in a flying lap now, Sasha Mabio. But anyway, René Lutzenkirchen has faster lap time and has went to 47.4. He is not faster during this lap, Sasha Mabio, and goes up to P3. He is not able to go faster than René Lutzenkirchen. Ingo Albert gets in front, and the winner of the first race now is down to P4. There are still a few drivers in the flying lap, but René Lutzenkirchen takes the first spot on the grid, or the first spot behind the safety car. Pole position for René Lutzenkirchen with 47.4. William Kneppen is second, Albert Ingo third, and Sasha Mabio, who won the first race of this group, will start only from P4. Theo Janček is fifth, then Kyle Volkerts and Mirko Pascaletti, Carlos Caney in P8, followed by Oli Horko and Jesse Nissinen. 11th will start Massimo Criscolo, then Emanuele Signorini, Jérôme Choquet and Herdy Fosi. So looking for correct order for the drivers to start. Albert Ingo with 17 goes to third spot after the safety car. Then Sasha Mobio with number 19, followed by Theo Janček with number 20. Then Kyle Volkerts with number 1. 7th slot on the start for Mirko Pascaletti. Then Carlos Caini, Olli Horko and Jesse Nissinen. I see number 8 of Jérôme Choquet here waiting for his starting position. He is starting 13th in front of just Herdy Fosi. Here is Emanuele Signorini with number 5 starting 12th. After him goes Jérôme Choquet and then Herdy Fosi with kart number 26. And we are ready to race again. There goes safety car on the formation lap. René Lutzenkirchen is first behind the Rotax Karting and now is starting from P1. William Kneppen is second, Albert Ingo third, Sasha Mabio only from P4. Here they are, René Lutzenkirchen, then William Kneppen with a red race suit, Albert Ingo and Sasha Mabio in P4, followed by Theo Janček and Kyle Volkert. Number 18 of William Kneppen starting second. But René Lutzenkirchen is in front of everyone in this second heat for Group E drivers. The last corners during the formation lap, they are going onto the starting straight. The safety car is going to the pits and the green flag drops. We are racing again, going through the first corners. René Lutzenkirchen, and behind him there is a fight for P6 between Theo Janček and Kyle Volkerts. Mirko Pascaletti has lost a few places during this fight, and Pasqualetti now is down the order. Carlos Caini in front, Olli Horko and Jesse Nissinen. René Lutzenkirchen still leading. Mirko Pasqualetti was starting 7th, but now has lost at least 3 positions on the track. Pasqualetti with number 22 on his karting, but Lutzenkirchen is on the bridge at the end of the first lap, followed by William Kneppen. And down from P7 to P11 goes Mirko Pasqualetti after unsuccessful fight during those first 2 corners. Now Massimo Criscolo is up to P10. In front of him, Jesse Nissinen is 9th. Olli Horko is 8th. René Lutzenkirchen leading. 47.4 was a great lap in this short qualifying for René Lutzenkirchen. He got P1 for starting a second heat and now is leading this race. 0.4 between him and William Kneppen after the first lap, now completing second. The distance remains the same. William Kneppen is still close enough to try to overtake René Lutzenkirchen. 1 more tenth of a second closer and William Kneppen will be as close as it goes. That is the distance from which he can start to think about overtaking. 0.3 seconds from that gap. The drivers are already fighting for position. Down from the bridge goes René Lutzenkirchen, followed by William Kneppen. In third is Albert Ingo, then Sasha Mabion, fourth, Theo Janček, fifth. No overtakes so far between the leaders. It's only Scaini, Horko, Nissinen and Criscolo going in front of Pasqualetti. 1 more lap completed and still 0.4 between Lutzenkirchen and Kneppen. Here Volkert in number 1, following Teo Janček. It's a fight for a P5 now. But the top 4 drivers in front, very close. Sascha Mabio, Albert Ingo, William Kneppen and René Lutzenkirchen leading. First 3 minutes spent on the track, and top 4 drivers, whole group is still holding together. Mabio dangerously close to Albert Ingo, ready to fight for this 3rd place on the track. The number 20 of Teo Janček, followed by Kyle Volkert in number 1. And here are the top 4, then 5th and 6th, Janček and Volkert. Carlos Caini also with only 0.6 seconds behind Volkert. But here Lutzenkirchen, Knappen, Ingo and Mabio fighting for top 4 positions on the track. One more best lap time for René Lutzenkirchen, but that doesn't help. William Knappen still is 0.3 behind. There is 0.6 between Knappen and Ingo, and 0.3 between Ingo and Mabio. Jessenisen just lost to Mirko Pasqualetti. Up to P10 goes the Italian. Jessenisen is in P11 now, but here is René Lutzenkirchen leading the race, followed by William Kneppen, and behind them Albert Ingo and Sascha Mabio starting to fight for position. They are starting to lose the time, and the gap between Ingo and Kneppen starts to increase. We have not 4 drivers fighting for first 4 positions. We have 2 pairs of drivers now fighting each other. Lutzenkirchen and Knappen at the front, Ingo and Mabion 3rd and 4th. Lutzenkirchen leading William Knappen up on the bridge. Here they go. And there is 0.8 seconds between Kneppen and Albert Ingo. Ingo in front of Sascha Mabio. Mabio with number 19 chasing Albert Ingo with number 17. Already almost half of the race has spent in these positions and no one has been able to overtake. Mabio is really close behind Albert Ingo. They are fighting for a 3rd place here. Every place counts, every position counts, and every point counts at the end of the day and the end of the 2 days of racing here in Saudi World Series E-Sprint. The results of both days combined will determine who will be E-Sprint champion in Saudi World Series 2025. Here is René Lutzenkirchen, Kneppen, Ingo and Mabion fighting for top 4. Janček and Volkert in 5th and 6th. Skaini, Horko, Kriskolo 7th, 8th and 9th. Jessenisen back into 10th place, and Mirko Pasqualetti is losing again. Now he is down to 13th position. Teo Janček and Kyle Volkert. Is there a place for Volkert to overtake Teo Janček? They are going through the first 7 minutes already from the start, very close. Volkert chasing Teo Janček. There is only 0.3 of a second between them. You cannot get closer. There is a rear bumper of the front running car. 0.3. That is as close as it gets. And from that position you can start to overtake. Lutzenkirchen and Knappen fighting for the win. Albert Ingo and Sascha Mabio fighting for the 3rd. And here is 12 of René Lutzenkirchen. Kneppen has lost a little bit there. Was tried to overtake from William Kneppen, but he lost time. Now he sets best time in the second sector. He is running after René Lutzenkirchen. He is going faster and trying to get back behind the leader to fight for the first place again. It's number 1 of Kyle Volkerts chasing Theo Janček in the fight for P5 on the track. Janček with number 20, but Lutzenkirchen still in front. Kneppen second, Ingo third, and Mabio fourth. There's number 20 of Theo Janček. Volkert still behind him. Then Karl Skeidi, Olli Horko, Massimo Criscuolo, and Jesse Nissinen completing top 10. One more sector record for William Kneppen. He goes faster than anyone else in the middle part of the track. The new record sets in the third sector, René Lutzenkirchen. There is 1 second between them now, is pulling away René Lutzenkirchen after a short fight. William Kneppen has fallen back. He's trying to get back behind Lutzenkirchen, but now they are split on the track, and Albert Ingo and Sasha Mabio are closing on William Kneppen. We are following Janček and Volkert, Skeidi and Horko, fighting with Massimo Criscuolo. Here is Criscuolo with number 25 and Horko with number 11. 2.5 minutes to go in this race. Lutzenkirchen pulls away for a whole second. Number 20 of Theo Janček running 5th now. It seems like table on the screen is freezed, and we see not the actual splits between the drivers. It's René Lutzenkirchen 2 minutes before the end of the race, leading by 1 second from William Kneppen. Albert Ingo is just 6 tenths behind Kneppen. Sasha Mabio still 5 tenths, half a second behind Albert Ingo. Then Theo Janček fighting with Kyle Volkerts for 5th place. Karl Skeini is going 7th now. Olli Horko is 8th. Massimo Criscuolo is 9th. Jesse Nissinen back into top 10 now. Emanuele Signorini is 11th. Jérôme Choquet is 12th. Mirko Pasqualetti is 13th now. And Fozzy Herdy is in P14. 1.5 minutes to go, 0.8 between leaders. William Kneppen is closing in a little bit, but there are only a few laps to go till the finish. Can he get back behind René Lutzenkirchen and try to fight for the win again? Number 19 of Sasha Mabio, right after Albert Ingo, can do something. The winner of the first heat at the closing laps of the second. Only 4th on the start, Sasha Mabio, and 4th he is running now. Maybe he's not taking any risks and going safely with this 4th place just to get the points and not to lose places, trying to do something too aggressive on the track. Lutzenkirchen through the last corners. We are starting last minute on the track. Lutzenkirchen is leading. William Kneppen is 0.8 behind Lutzenkirchen. Albert Ingo half a second, no more than half a second, almost second down from William Kneppen. Sasha Mabio is right behind Albert Ingo. They are still fighting for 3rd place in this race. It's Albert Ingo in number 17. Here are the leaders, but Sasha Mabio is really close behind Ingo. Ingo has catched William Kneppen. They are fighting for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, but René Lutzenkirchen is almost a second in front of everyone. Here he goes through the last corners. Great qualifying and great race for René Lutzenkirchen. Number 12 takes the win in this race. William Kneppen is 2nd, Albert Ingo 3rd, and the winner of first heat, Sasha Mabio, is 4th. Then comes Theo Janček and Kyle Volkert, Karl Skeini and Olli Horko. 9th is Massimo Criscuolo, 10th is Jesse Nissinen, Emanuele Signorini in P11, then Jérôme Choquet, Mirko Pasqualetti and Herdy Fozzy. After short qualifying, everything was mixed up in this race. René Lutzenkirchen took the pole position. The winner of first race, Sasha Mabillot, lost and started only fourth. Here is Jesse Nissinen fighting hard at the start. Number 28 coming down from the bridge, and a hard fight for the last spot on this race. Lost a few positions from the start. Mirko Pasqualetti and get back, then lost again. Here were the leaders, the four of Lutzenkirchen, Kneppen, Ingo and Mabillot, racing hard through those 12 minutes, but without any overtaking moves, without even trying to overtake. Lutzenkirchen, Kneppen, Ingo and Mabillot. One fight from William Kneppen, which left him almost second behind Lutzenkirchen, and that was the gap Lutzenkirchen maintained till the end of the race. Kneppen comes second, Ingo third, Mabillot fourth. Mabillot still in top 10 in overall classification and fighting for every point available.
Years ago now that we've been using the kart. It's been a journey of exploration and learning for the company. It's been really good. You know, the batteries are exactly the same battery as when we launched, which I think is really impressive when you think that we've had well over 2,000 charging cycles. Even with the powertrain, you know, it really means that there's no maintenance with this product, and I think this is really a credit to the guys at Rotax to develop such a robust car. And if you look at the performance, when you consider the weight that we carry at the moment, it is really impressive.
This is Wavre Indoor Karting. This is Saudi World Series E-Sprint Finals and the final day of racing here. Next short qualifying session has started. Andrei Sleipnieks now goes up with 48.5. Jakub Jonas is second and Matthew Otesier up to third. Loic Martin goes faster with 48.0. Leipnieks now is second. Jakub Jonas losing third for Alexander Lutzenkirchen. Up to P3 now goes Lutzenkirchen. There are only two actual flying laps in this short session. So Loic Martin now is leading qualifying with Andrei Sleipnieks second. One more fast lap to go. Loic Martin in number 31. Marceau Guigny now goes up in front with number 16, followed by Patrick Porta in number 3 with a second best lap time of 47.9. Trying to improve still Martin Loic and Jonas Jakub. Matthew Otesier up to P5. Andrei Sleipnieks now is down to P6, but he is improving during this lap. The short qualifying is coming to an end. Leipnieks is faster at the beginning of lap, losing a few hundreds in the middle part of the track, and now everything depends on the third part of the track for Andrei Sleipnieks. He is already down to P10 now. In front is Nicolas Schifferl. Jan Flambard goes up second, just behind Loic Martin. Andrei Sleipnieks over the finish line and moving up to P5. Patrick Porta takes the win now. Marsogini is down to second. Loic Martin is still on the lap, but he is driving slower on the last lap hole, so he will not improve. And Loic Martin stays third. Jan Flambard is fourth. Andrei Sleipnieks will start from P5. Then Emilien Gouchon, Alexander Lutzenkirchen, Jakub Jonas, Arthur Piette and Matthew Otesier in P10, followed by Nicolas Schiffer, Lim Snellman, Sylvain Brossard and Jamil Issa. Patrick Porta was second yesterday also in the standings, took the win in the first heat today. Jan Flambard was second and Andrei Sleipnieks was third in the first heat in this group. Now Patrick Porta is starting first again. Marsogini is up to second place. Loic Martin is third. Jan Flambard will start only fourth and Leipnieks in P5. They were second and third in the first heat in this group. Now Emilien Gouchon is right behind Leipnieks, then Alexander Lutzenkirchen, Arthur Piette and Jakub Jonas. We are forming the queue behind the safety car, and as soon as everyone is according to their qualifying results in those two fast laps, we will start the second heat. Drivers on the track, spectators on the bridge over the track. The track crosses itself multiple times during this one lap. We're going opposite direction today. It's Patrick Porta right behind safety car. Here comes number 15 of Sylvain Brossard, followed by Jamil Issa in number 24. So we are ready for formation lap. Issa 14, Brossard 13, Snellman from P12, Schifferl 11, Otesier from P10, Jonas 9th, Piette 8th, Lutzenkirchen 7th, Gouchon 6th, Leipnieks 5th, from P4 starting Flambard, then Martin from 3rd, Guinea is 2nd and Patrick Porta gets the pole position in this short qualifying session. Patrick Porta took the win in the first heat, now is leading the second, and we are starting to race again for Patrick Porta. It was second place yesterday in the final, also second place in the standings with 145 points, 12 points short of Baptist Vanderberg's 157. Anyway, so far this day they both are going with the same amount of points through first heat, and also now Patrick Porta has done everything in this short qualification to be in front, so it will be decided in the final who will take the win today and who will take the win overall. But now we are starting the next race from the very fast going into the first corner is Patrick Porta, followed by Marceau Guigné, and now the race has started. No overtakings there. Loic Martin, third, Jan Flambard, fourth, Andrei Leipnieks, fifth, followed by Gouchon, Lutzenkirchen and Piette. We are through the first lap of this race, and Group D have started their second heat of this day. After the second heat they will be split in the, and here we go, trying to overtake Jim Snellman, going inside of Nicolas Schifferl, fighting for P11 on the track in the first lap of this race. Patrick Porta leading, Marceau Guigné in second, Loic Martin third. That's the order at the end of the first lap. Then Jan Flambard in P4, followed by Andrei Leipnieks, Emilien Gouchon in P6, Alexander Lutzenkirchen is 7th, then Piette, Jonas, Otesier completing top 10, then Schifferl, Snellman, Brossard and Issa. The race has started and there is already a fight for the lead. Marceau Guigny trying to overtake. He's inside, pushing out Patrick Porta. Porta is outside. There comes Loic Martin and Jan Flambard. It seems like Patrick Porta could lose not only one but 2 positions, 3 positions. Now only 4th is coming to an end of this lap. Patrick Porta, the winner of the first race, now is down the order together with Andrés Leibniz, who was 3rd. Jan Flambard gets in front of him, who was 2nd in the first race. Also Loic Martin and Marceau Guigny now leading the race in front of everyone. Great fight. Marceau Guigny, unlike other drivers we have seen in the previous races, waiting for the last lap to do their moves. Marceau Guigny didn't wait. He went for it already on the first lap of the race, and now Marceau Guigny is leading, followed by Loic Martin, Jan Flambard and Patrick Porta. As he lost 1 position, there were already Martin and Flambard passing him like a train going by. Now Patrick Porta is 4th, chased by Andrés Leibniz. And the fight is still on through this corner. It's Alexander Lutzenkirchen pushed wide. Artur Piette is fighting with him for P7 on the track. Emilien Gouchon is in the front. It seems like Lutzenkirchen just lost 1 position. But here with number 4 is Andrés Leibniz, chased by Emilien Gouchon, fighting for P5. In front of Leibniz is Patrick Porta. All 3 leaders from the first heat now running together on the track, but Jan Flambard, who was 2nd, now is 3rd. Patrick Porta, who was 1st, now is 4th, and Andrés Leibniz was 3rd, but now is in P5. So everything in this group is changed in second heat. There Jakub Junas goes in front of Artur Piette, who fought so far with Lutzenkirchen. Nicolas Schifferl up to 10th in front of Mathieu Autessier. Lutzenkirchen, Jonas and Piette, number 9, number 30 and number 2 racing hard on the track now. 0.4 still between leaders, Marceau Guigny and Loic Martin. 1 more fastest lap of this race for Loic Martin. He is running 2nd but is really close behind Guigny. Number 30, it's Jakub Junas chasing Alexander Lutzenkirchen. But now Jonas is chased by Artur Piette, fighting for 8th, but Lutzenkirchen is pulling away. Guigny 0.3 in front of Loic Martin. Martin still fighting for the win. Guigny went in front of Patrick Porta, but now is not able to pull away from Loic Martin. Martin still chasing him hard. There is a 1 second between Martin and Jan Flambard, between 2nd and 3rd. Flambard is followed by Patrick Porta. Right behind is the leader of the first lap, the winner of the qualifying, the winner of the first heat. But now Patrick Porta is down to 4th and now fighting for 3rd place in the track. Artur Piette with number 2 chasing Jakub Junas and chased by Nicolas Schifferl. Loic Martin and Marceau Guigny. After them, Jan Flambard and Patrick Porta. Here are the leaders. Marceau Guigny with number 16, followed by Loic Martin with number 31. Here, 3rd and 4th, Flambard and Porta. No moves, no overtakes, going with the wide lines into the corners, not defending and trying to get away from everyone else behind. In this race, you first have to build a gap behind you and only then you can try to overtake, because if there is a mistake, if there is something you do not succeed, you can lose a lot of positions immediately. Here we are going through the first corners. Guigny leading, Martin 2nd, Flambard 3rd and Porta 4th. Andrés Leibniz is dropping back now. He is losing 1.8 seconds to Patrick Porta, but is still holding 5th place in front of Emilien Gouchon and Alexander Lutzenkirchen. After them, Jakub Junas, Artur Piette, Nicolas Schifferl and Mathieu Autessier, all 4 fighting for positions from 8th till 11th. But as long as Martin is fighting with Guinea at the front, Jan Flambard and Patrick Porta are closing in. The gap is smaller and smaller between Martin and Flambard. There is only 0.6 seconds now, and we have the group of all four leading drivers together. 16 and Marceau Guinea, 31 and Loic Martin, 27 Jan Flambard and number 3 Patrick Porta. All four leading drivers here trying to go side by side. Loic Martin, Marceau Guinea still in front. Up there we haven't seen any overtaking moves, but here in this corner a lot of them so far in 2 heats today. Patrick Porta sets the best time in a first sector now. He is even closer to Flambard. Flambard is even closer to Loic Martin. The 4 leaders here going down from the bridge at the end of the lap. Less than 5 minutes till the finish of this race. And we have 1 second between 4 leading drivers. There are only 2 tenths between Guinea and Martin, only 3 tenths between Martin and Flambard, and only 5 tenths between Flambard and Patrick Porta. Here they are going up on the bridge and fighting for the win, fighting for the lead and for the first 4 positions on the track. The winner, Patrick Porta, is in 4th. Lost at the first lap fighting with Marceau Guinea, and now we have 4 minutes left. Last line down from the bridge for Patrick Porta. He already set new best time in the first sector. In the third, it's Loic Martin who is faster than everyone else. 0.4 between first and second, 0.5 between second and third, 0.3 between third and third, 8 in fourth, and that is only 1 second between first 4 leading drivers. Guinea, Martin, Flambard and Porta leading this race after a short fight in the first lap. Now the order has settled, and in this order they are going through the race. 3 more minutes to go. Here is Guinea, followed by Martin, then Flambard and Porta through the last corners onto the starting straight. Here slides into the second corner Loic Martin, almost losing to Jan Flambard. Flambard is now closer to Martin than Martin is to Guinea. That is the fight for the second place. It is on now, and also Patrick Porta is dangerously close behind. Marceau Guinea pulls away for only half a meter, maybe a little bit more, but that's already seems huge considering how close together they are racing on the track now. Top 4 positions within 1 second. Very fast down the bridge goes Patrick Porta, but there is no way to go side by side with Jan Flambard and get this third position on the track. Still chasing is Patrick Porta. There's Andres Leipnieks in a lonely 5th place, almost 3 seconds behind Porta and more than 2 seconds in front of Emilien Guichon, who is fighting with Lutzenkirchen for P6. But here are top 4 drivers. Porta in P4, Flambard in P3, Loic Martin in P2 again. The gap between Martin and Flambard is increasing, and Martin doing everything he can to catch again Marcel Guinea. Guinea is now half a second in front. Here we see Patrick Porta chasing Jan Flambard, fighting for third. Both leaders are pulling away. We have 1.5 minutes to go. Those are the last laps of this race. Can Patrick Porta do something? There is almost 3 seconds gap behind him till 5th place of Andres Leipnieks. So Patrick Porta can afford some risk. There is nothing to lose for him. There is a big enough gap to Andres Leipnieks. Even if he does not succeed fighting for third, Patrick Porta will be able to hold his 4th position on the track. There he is right behind and up on the hill again. Martin leading, Loic Martin in front, Flambard down to second place, Patrick Porta in front of Marzogini, and everything is going back to the order as it began. Now leading in the first minute of this race goes Loic Martin in front of everyone. Got one position also Patrick Porta and Jan Flambard. Marzogini is down in the fourth now. Last seconds in this race. It's Marzogini who gets penalty for illegal overtake. It's warning for Artur Piette, but 3 seconds added to Marzogini time. Number 16 is still in front on the track, but does Loic Martin, does he knows that he has not to fight for this position anyway? Marzogini is classified fourth and Loic Martin takes the win. Guinea is in front over the finish line, but with a 3 seconds penalty he is down in P4. So Loic Martin takes the win in this race. Jan Flambard is second, Patrick Porta third, Marzogini in P4 and Andrei Sleipnieks in P5. Then Emilian Gouchon, Alexander Lutzenkirchen, Artur Piette, Jakub Jonas, Jim Snellman in P10, Matthew Otessier is 11th, then Sylvain Brossard, Nicolas Schifferl and Jamil Issa. Absolutely unpredictable result in this race, already starting with a qualifying. At the end of the race, Patrick Porta, who was leading, is third, actually on the track fourth, and position he lost in the fight in the first laps. Here was a crash during this corner. There him Snellman trying to gain a position, and here goes inside. Marzogini pushes to the outside wall Patrick Porta. There Porta lost not only one but 3 positions. The fight continues. Porta trying to get back in front of Jan Flambard but did not succeed, and they had to wait for the judges to give a penalty for Marzogini for this overtaking move at the beginning of the race. And with the penalty for Marzogini, Loic Martin took the win, Jan Flambard second, and Patrick Porta up to third. But on the track he still was fourth as it settled after the first laps of the race. 3 more heats to go. 3 more races left in the second heat. Now a Group C waiting at the exit of the pit line when they will be left to go on the track for the short qualifying session. Still last moments of silence on the track and we will be racing again. The group number D finished with really unexpected results in a second heat. Patrick Porta, who won the first, was only third. Jan Flambard took the second places in both heats. Loic Martin was first now, but was outside top 3 in the first race. And now the Group C are going on the track for the very short qualifying session. Here we will see the next 14 drivers on the track fighting for the points in a second heat. 3 laps for qualifying, but only 2 flying. You get to get your starting position. It's David Masiero with number 11. It's Michal Willim with number 8. Theodor Iverson, number 17. Dorian Hankes with 25. Julian Meisler with 28. Karmo Kerb, number 20. Yanis Whale with number 18. Francesco Panatti, it's 26.5 for Harri Suoninen. 22 for Julien Pascal. Number 12, Favaz Youssef. Then Edis Medinovskis, number 23, Patrick Prahoinig, number 1, and Rafael Bro with number 19, starting to fight for their starting positions in the second heat. Here we see Favaz Youssef with number 12, currently with a 4th lap time, but only after first lap. Michal Willim, even right out of the pit lane, goes with a 48.1 second. Dorian Hankes, 48.2. It's Favaz Youssef completing second lap, moving up to third, now conquered by Yanis Vey. Theodor Iverson in first with 48.0. Rafael Bro moves better. Karmo Kerb now is leading with 47.5, more than half a second in front of Theodor Iverson. That's a quite competitive lap time from Karmo Kerb. Estonian going faster than anyone else. 0.2 of a second shorter is Dorian Hankes in a second. Iverson down to third, but he still has 1 lap to go. Michal Willim up to third. Julian Meisler is fifth. Julian Pascal moves to sixth. Now Francesco Panatti manages to set 11th fastest lap time, but Karmo Kerb is still leading. This lap is slower for him, so no improvement for Karmo Kerb. No improvement for Dorian Hankes on the last lap, but Michal Willim is going faster than before through the first sector. Already 0.04 of a sector faster than Karmo Kerb. Kerb over the finish line. Willim is still in the fast lap. There's 100 of a second losing to Karmo Kerb in a second sector. Dorian Hankes is in a second place. Michal Willim coming to an end of the lap, and the third and last sector for Michal Willim, and he stays third. Does not improve his lap time. It's Julien Pascal who moves up to fourth. Willim is third, Dorian Hankes second, and Karmo Kerb will start from P1. So now we're looking for number 20, Karmo Kerb, to go take his pole position right behind safety car. And here he goes with his yellow race suit, Karmo Kerb. Got pole position for second heat today. Dorian Hankes is second, but David Masiero was the winner of the first heat in this group. And again, as we have seen in other groups too, David Masiero is only in P5. In the morning, everyone had 10 minutes to set his fastest qualifying time, but now there were only 2 flying laps to get your starting position, and David Masiero, winning first race, now is down to P5 at the start. In front of him is Julien Pascal in 4th, Michael Willim in 3rd, Hankes 2nd, and Kerb in pole position. Further back, it's number 5, Ohari Swaninen, taking 10th on the grid. Behind him, lining up Rafael Bro and Francesco Panatti, then Edis Malinowskis with number 23, and Patrick Prahuinig with number 1. Formation lap has started. 3 more races to go before we reach the finals. Before we reach the biggest battles of those 2 days here in Wavre, Belgium. C group drivers now getting ready for second heat today. The last time they are in this company on the track. After the second heat, they will be split in different groups according to results of both heats combined, not according to the qualifying results from the morning. And here we are through the formation lap. Kerb, Hankes, Willim, Pascal and Masiero in top 5. Then Ivarsson, Missler, Josef, Whale and Swaninen in top 10, followed by Bro, Panatti, Malinovskis and Prahuinik. Holding in distance behind safety car, Karmo Kerb. To get a free track in front of him to make a surprise for everyone following exactly when he will start accelerating. The green flag goes down on the starting straight, and Karmo Kerb going full throttle through the first 2 corners. It's a fight further behind. Favas Youssef is pushed out of the second corner. Here is also Rafael Bro stopped after the second corner, and 2 more cars there. It's Francesco Panatti who has lost everything and now is going last. Yanis Vale very fast through the first sector. Just went through those problems in a second corner. Rafael Bro is down the order. Edis Malinovskis moved up to P11 after this clash in a second corner. The leaders are away, and here are number 25 of Dorian Hankes. We see him on the track, but the changes in the driver's order are further back outside of top 10. Yanis Vale moves up in front of Favas Youssef. Here is the fight. There goes Favas Youssef with Yanis Vale trying to get back his position, but in number 20, Karmo Kerb is leading the race, only 4/10 of a second in front of Dorian Hankes. In qualifying, Karmo Kerb set the fastest lap time. Now Dorian Hankes is right behind him. Can Karmo Kerb pull away? His lap time was almost 3/10 of a second faster than Dorian Hankes, so very huge difference between them. But on the race, everything is different. Can pull away Kerb to get his first win today in the second heat. There is a small gap of 0.4 seconds between them now going over finish line. The same gap maintaining Kerb and Hankes. Michael Willim is a third, further 3/10 back from Hankes. Pascal is also very close behind Willim, also David Masiero. All 8 top drivers now within 1 second after each other. Here goes Kerb, followed by Hankes, then Willim and Pascal. With number 17, it's Theodor Ivarsson chasing David Masiero for P5. David Masiero, the winner of the first race in this group, now in number 11 is racing 5th. And Dorian Hankes still close behind Karmo Kerb. First 2 laps and first 3 laps, and Karmo Kerb is not pulling away. 0.4, 0.3 between them. That is a distance where overtaking is possible. Dorian Hankes still fighting for the win with Karmo Kerb. First 3 minutes spent on the track. There was a fight going down from the bridge. The first time the leaders are approaching the end of the lap already. Dorian Hankes is right there over the back of Karmo Kerb's go-kart. They are on the starting straight again, and the gap is only 0.3 seconds. All top 4 drivers, Kerb, Hankes, Willim and Pascal. There is 0.8 between Pascal and Masiero. And the winner of the first race now is falling back a little bit. The gap is increasing between him and top 4 drivers. Here they come, top 4, and here is Masiero in number 11, chased by Ivarsson in number 17. It seems like now David Masiero is busy to hold off Theodor Ivarsson's offensive, not to catching the leaders in front. Here are top 4 drivers, Kerb, Hankes, Willim and Pascal. Then coming Masiero, Ivarsson and Miesler fighting for P5. Rafael Bro going in front of Francesco Panatti, fighting for P13. Still without changes, going the first 4 drivers. And there is Francesco Panatti for this fight we saw on previous lap. He gets a penalty, and now Francesco Panatti is classified behind Rafael Bro. Anyway, that is only 1 place Panatti is losing, because he is running on the track in a P13 and now is down in a last place in classification. In front of him, Rafael Bro, at least classified, not on the track. Patrik Prahojnik is in P12, Edis Malinovskis 11th, Pavas Youssef in P10. Then in front of him, Harri Suoninen and Janis Weil, Julian Miesler, Theodor Ivarsson and David Masiero. And top 4 drivers up in the front. Here is Karmo Kerb, Dorian Hankes, Michael Willim and Julien Pascal. There is no way to go for Dorian Hankes. He is as close as you can go behind Karmo Kerb. Where will he try to overtake? Will he wait for the later stages of the race? Will he hope to increase the gap in front of Michael Willim so he can take some risks now? Hankes is chasing Karmo Kerb. Already half of the race spent on the track, driving in this order. Julien Pascal is closing in, and top 4 drivers now going within 1 second. 0.9 between first and 4th places. A little bit further back, it's David Masiero with number 11. Now is chased by Theodor Ivarsson, but even Masiero now is closing in. There's 0.8 between him and Pascal. But Karmo Kerb, after a great qualifying, is still holding the lead. But there are so many cars right behind with so small gaps between them. We have from first till 7th with gaps less than second, and the top 4 especially close together on the track. 5 minutes to go. Number 28 of Julian Miesler at the end of this row of drivers. In the front of Miesler is Theodor Ivarsson, then David Masiero and Julien Pascal, all top 7 with gaps less than 1 second, and only 1 second between first and 4th on the track. Looking back on the starting straight, Karmo Kerb. There is everything to watch behind him. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars in a row, so everyone is risking a lot. Anyone who will try to do an overtaking is risking to losing all these positions. From first till P7, we are going in a one long train during this race. 4 minutes to go. Karmo Kerb is still leading up after great qualifying performance in those 2 flying laps. Kerb looking back again. How long is the train behind him? It seems like Karmo Kerb is trying to find out, because he should know that Dorian Hankes is right behind him all the race for more than 7 minutes already. Here goes Kerb, followed by Hankes. Small gap between Hankes and Willim. Then Pascal and Masiero closing in. Top 7 drivers right bumper to bumper on the track. Here comes Hankes trying to change the lines over the bridge. Here they are down again to the first level on the track. Karmo Kerb still leading this place of the track. We have seen overtakes here, but nothing happens now. 3 minutes to go. Karmo Kerb leading, and both with Hankes running away from the pack. There is forming a gap between second and third. Michal Willim is losing a little bit, but in this competition that gap over just half a second already seems big. Closing back again, Michal Willim to Dorian Hankes. Already seems almost Hankes could be a little bit safer to make a move on Karmo Kerb, but now Michal Willim is back right behind him. This is Julian Missler with 28, losing a little bit pace to everyone else in this train. Also, there comes Yanis Vale in P8 closing in. Again, looking back the whole way up on the bridge, Karmo Kerb. We have 2 minutes to go. And Dorian Hankes is too close to drive safely for Karmo Kerb. Dorian Hankes can fight any minute, any second. He can try to overtake Karmo Kerb. There is Michal Willim also closing in. The gaps were formed a few laps before, and now they are back right after one another again. There is 0.3 between leaders, 0.4 between second and third, 0.6 between Willim and Pascal is closing in. Masiero is still fifth, and followed by Iverson by only half a second losing. But here are the leaders. It's Karmo Kerb and Dorian Hankes. Pascal and Masiero setting best sector times in this lap and closing in final laps of this race. Karmo Kerb once more through the starting straight, 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds to go. The last laps of this race. Karmo Kerb is leading after great qualification run and setting P1. Now he is in front. Dorian Hankes is chasing him. It seems like Dorian Hankes is faster. He's faster the whole race. Already 11 minutes on the track, but he has not done anything yet. He has not even tried to overtake Karmo Kerb. Will he do that in the last laps, or in the even last lap, in the final lap of the race? Again, every lap going here up on the bridge. Karmo Kerb looking back. He knows how close is Hankes. It seems like Kerb is watching how long is the train behind him. There is Hankes, there is Willim, there is Pascal and Masiero. Theodor Iverson just followed back for more than 1 second after Masiero, but we have a last 30 minutes of this race going up on the bridge. Hankes is almost side by side with Karmo Kerb. Here Willim and Pascal fighting for third. This is the last chance. Pushed out is Julian Pascal from fourth with Masiero trying to go through Masiero. And here is also the fight further back. Still leading Karmo Kerb. Last seconds and last corners in front of him. Going down the bridge and through the finish line. Karmo Kerb takes the win in second heat of this day. Dorian Hankes is second. Michal Willim third, David Masiero fourth, Julian Pascal over the finish line in P5. Then it's Theodor Iverson in P6, followed by Julian Missler in 7th, Yanis Vale 8th, Harri Suoninen P9, Pavas Youssef is 10th, Edis Mladenovskis P11, then Francesco Panatti, Patrick Prahonig and Rafael Bro. And Francesco Panatti, even with a 3 seconds penalty, manages to get a 12th place in this race. So second heat for Group C is over. We will still see 2 heats with those short qualifying sessions and unpredictable starting order. 2 more groups of the drivers will be on the track for second heats, and then after a short break we will be ready for finals. Fantastic qualifying performance from Karmo Kerb, and also defended his first position through the whole race, all those 12 minutes on the track. Faced hard by Dorian Hankes, but anyway, without a mistake went Karmo Kerb through those 12 minutes, those 15 laps on the track, and took the win in second heat. Dorian Hankes second, Michael Willem third, David Massiero, who won the first heat in this group. Down the order, here was 4 cars leaving stationary in the second corner. From Francesco Panatti got a penalty of 3 seconds, and anyway, even with this penalty, Panatti managed to take P12. This is number 5, Harry Sonanen, fighting with Pavas Youssef, number 12. And also 26th of Francesco Panatti, who got penalized for pushing other driver off the track. But Karmo Kerb, followed by Dorian Hankes at the end of the race, joined by Michael Willem and David Massiero, and also Julien Pascal, and one moment even Theodor Iverson. All top 6, top 7 drivers were driving in a one long train till the end of the race. Karmo Kerb managed to defend his position from Dorian Hankes. It looked like Hankes was faster all the race, but there was no place to get side by side with Kerb and get the win on this race. Kerb did everything perfect here, going defensive into this dangerous corner, and Kerb managed to hold off all the fights behind him. Julien Pascal got pushed off in the last lap and finished in P5. David Massiero progressing to P4 at the very last lap on this race. But Karmo Kerb won the qualifying and won the heat number 2. Two more heats and 2 more as short as entertaining qualifying sessions in front of us. Only 2 laps and also very unpredictable results in those short qualifying sessions. We already saw in many of the groups different results from the first heat, different starting positions from the first heat. and the very different winners from the first heat. So now two more groups are fighting. Now Group B on the track, it's Max Karhunen with number 15 now leading. Name Emmerich Törnqvist sets the second best lap time, but that's only 48.4 after the first lap right out from the pits. The first proper qualifying lap is now, and Emmerich Törnqvist is increasing the speed, setting new records in first and second sector. Now he is down to fourth, but anyway, he is faster than anyone else already through the first two parts of the track, and Emmerich Törnqvist goes up to P1 now, but behind him Max Karhunen is faster in the second sector of the lap. Max Karhunen is fighting for the P1. He won first race in a first heat. Emmerich Törnqvist was second. Now they are fighting for their starting positions. Emmerich Törnqvist is in front by 900ths of a second. Max Karhunen now second with Fabrizio Kallio third, and we are now through the last flying lap of this qualifying. 47.6 for Emmerich Törnqvist, the best lap time of this qualifying session. 47.7 for Max Karhunen. Fabrizio Kallio already over finish line. The checkered flag is out. Emmerich Törnqvist does not improve in the last flying lap. Max Karhunen is going faster in the first sector, but is losing time in a second. So it seems very hard for Karhunen to improve his second starting position. Now Max Karhunen sets new record in a third part of the track, but anyway stays second, losing only 700ths of a second to Emmerich Törnqvist, fighting for pole position. So Törnqvist will start first in number 9. Max Karhunen in number 15 will be second behind safety car. Fabrizio Kallio will start third. He is getting ready now. Fourth will be Edward Keziks, Julien Bianchi from P5, Anthony Bourgeois sixth, Nino Bray seventh, P8 for Timoleon Dupin, Jérôme Bianchi from P9, Edward Varkel is 10th on the grid, followed by Wouter Popelier, Rémi Panetier and Tani Boria. Very fast and actually incredible qualifying session, those 3 minutes and only 2 flying laps before the second heats. It gets us very different results, different leading drivers. It's only Van der Beek who won both heats. There was different winners, Enzo Gagnage and Alex Mrotzko in the second group. Sasha Mabiot took the win in both heats in the E group. Patrick Porta won the first heat, but Loic Martin won the second in Group D. David Macero took both wins, and Max Karhunen and Alex Sarniel were fastest in the first heats, and now Karhunen will start second behind Emmerich Törnqvist and Axel Sarniel. We will see on the track in the last group of drivers, because he took the win in a qualifying. He got absolutely the best lap time so far here in Wavre, with only one going into 46 seconds lap time. Now Törnqvist behind safety car in number 9, Max Karhunen with 15 starting second, Fabrizio Kallio third with number 3 on his go-kart. Here we are approaching the end of the lap, through the last corners of the track. Into the pit lane goes safety car, green flag is on. We are racing through the first 2 corners. So far everything is good. He's pushed a little bit further out Anthony Bourgeois, but he manages to hold his position. Here is a fight for P12 between Rémi Panetier and Wouter Popelier. Emmerich Törnqvist still in front of everyone, now up on the bridge for the first time on this lap. Törnqvist leading, Karhunen second, then Kallio, Keziks, Bianchi, Bourgeois, Bray, Dupin, Bianchi, Varkel, Popelier, Panetier and Boria. Everyone passed through the first sectors of this lap. The race has started. After this, one more race to go in a second heat, and then we will be ready for the finals. After the first lap, Emrik Törnqvist got 0.7 seconds advantage over Max Karhunen. Max Karhunen needs to be closer to fight for the win. If he drops to second or more, there is almost no hopes to do something for him. Törnqvist is trying to pull away. Max Karhunen answers with a new record fast time in the first sector, but that is only 0.05 of a second faster than Törnqvist. Törnqvist is faster in the second sector, gaining back 0.08 of a second. So competitive are the drivers at the front now. Now going up on the bridge at the end of the lap, Emrik Törnqvist leading Max Karhunen right behind him, and there is also Kallio, Kesix, Bianchi, Bourgeois and Nino Bray. Two minutes spent on track without any moves. Törnqvist still leading, 0.6 is his advantage over Max Karhunen. Karhunen closed in on a previous lap. In the first lap he lost a little bit, now is back about 1/2 of a second behind Törnqvist. There is 0.6 between Karhunen and Kallio, 0.4 between Kallio and Edwards Kesix. Julien Bianchi still in P5, then Bourgeois, Bray and Dupin. Jérôme Bianchi down to P10, Eduard Warkel moves up to P9. Number 9 of Emrik Törnqvist in front of everyone. There is Nino Bray and Timoleon Dupin now fighting for P7. No moves so far, everyone waiting for driver in front, maybe do some mistake, maybe for others to drop away further back to fight with the leading driver. Now we have a very small gap between Törnqvist and Karhunen, it's only 0.3 seconds, the same distance to Fabrizio Kallio. We have 0.7 between first and third driver on the track now. Edwards Kesix is also only 1/2 a second down from Kallio in fourth. Julien Bianchi 0.3 of a second behind Kesix. Then a little bit bigger gap between Bianchi and Bourgeois. It's 0.7. Nino Bray is 1/2 a second behind Bourgeois and in front of Timoleon Dupin. Less than second between drivers in a whole top 8, and then there are fighting Warkel, Bianchi, Popelier, Panetier and Boria, starting from P9 till P13. Still going with very small gaps between drivers after the first 5 minutes on the track. Emrik Törnqvist took the win in this short qualifying and is leading the race after first 5 minutes, followed only by 0.3 seconds from Max Karhunen. Karhunen won the first heat in this group. Emrik Törnqvist was second. Now they have swapped their positions. Törnqvist is leading and Karhunen second, starting the next lap of this race, going into the 7th lap already. Here is number 9 of Emrik Törnqvist, 15 of Max Karhunen, 3 of Fabrizio Kallio, 24 Edwards Kesix and 32 from Julien Bianchi. All within 1 second after each other. Top 5 drivers here going through. Anthony Bourgeois has dropped a little bit further back. There is almost a second, a little bit more than second between him and Julien Bianchi. And here we are going down the bridge at the end of the lap, and Max Karhunen is dangerously close, trying to go inside first corner. Emrik Törnqvist still leading. Best lap time from Edvard Kezik so far, 47.6 seconds. But here are the leaders. Max Karhunen already starting to try to do something to overtake Emrik Törnqvist on the track. They are fighting not only for the position in this heat, they are fighting also for points in overall score today and also for points in overall score on 2 days. There is a fight actually maybe even for a podium of 2 days combined between Törnqvist and Karhunen now. Karhunen was third yesterday in the grand final, but tied on points with Axel Sarniel, and now Sarniel is already in front with his great drive in a qualifying, but Karhunen is here fighting with Emrik Törnqvist. Seven minutes spent on the track, 5 minutes to go. The leading group of drivers pulling away. It's Törnqvist, Karhunen, Kallio, Keziks and Bianchi. Then Bourgeois, Bray and Dupin left to fight for P6, P7 and P8. Ninth is Edward Warkel and Wouter Popelier fighting for P9. Here we are through the starting straight again. Emrik Törnqvist still in front, only 0.3 seconds. Max Karhunen behind him, 0.4 between Karhunen and Kallio. 0.2 between Kallio and Keziks, and also really close behind Keziks is Julien Bianchi. And Bourgeois says he wants to join this party. He sets the best lap time so far with 47.6. That's the record lap time of this race, and Anthony Bourgeois is trying to close into top 5 drivers. He is running away from Nino Bray and Timoleon Dupin, and now Anthony Bourgeois is 1 second behind Bianchi. Now the next lap is completed and the gap remains, oh no, it's a little bit closer, 1/10 off. So now Anthony Bourgeois is 0.9 behind Bianchi, and we have all top 8 drivers within a second from each other. 10 laps completed, we are well over the half race, only 3.5 minutes to go in this race. Emrik Törnqvist is still leading in front of Max Karhunen. Karhunen is 3 to 4 tenths behind him, very close and ready to fight for the first place at any moment. Will he do that in the closing laps of the race? We have seen that before, the drivers waiting for the last lap, or waiting until the gap behind them is big enough to take a risk, because even touching those barriers slows you down pretty much, and not succeeding to overtake and losing the speed means you will lose not only 1 but 3, 4 and even more positions until you get back to speed and get back into this queue of drivers riding hard, right, one after another. There is a Törnqvist still leading, 0.2 seconds comes Max Karhunen. You cannot get closer than that. Karhunen is 0.2 behind Törnqvist, then Kallio, then Keziks, then Bianchi and Bourgeois closing in, trying to catch those leading 5 drivers in front of him. 2.5 minutes, Emrik Törnqvist on the starting straight again, going into the first and second corner. Max Karhunen is still behind. Karhunen just set the best sector time in a sector number 3 in a previous lap, just closed in even more to Emrik Törnqvist. Only a couple of tenths between them. Here they are going up to the bridge, bumper to bumper here, down and through the corner, which is closing in even more and more through going to an exit. And here, this place with so many overtakes already, Max Karhunen is still driving behind Emrik Törnqvist without a move so far. The last 2 minutes, there is only a couple of laps to go. On the starting straight goes Emmerich Turnquist, 1 minute 40 seconds to race in this heat. Max Karhunen is really close behind. Emmerich Turnquist is not able to pull away, but there is no place for Karhunen to get in front of him. Maybe even if Turnquist is slower than Karhunen, he is doing no mistakes on the track for all those already 14 laps, and there is no place for Turnquist to try to go side by side. Here it seems like he was trying, but is still set behind Turnquist. Last minute of this race, it seems like after one lap the race will be over. 3 cars going bumper to bumper down through the last corners on the starting straight again. 47 seconds left. Turnquist is leading, Max Karhunen second, Fabrizio Kallio third. Through the first corners without a fight, and now any time at any corner, at any meter on the track, Max Karhunen can try to fight with Emmerich Turnquist. This is his last chance in this race. Will he take the risk to take the P1 in second heat? Now Karhunen is driving safely second, a little bit increasing gap from Emmerich Turnquist. That was 0.3 on the starting line, 0.4 now, and here they are approaching the end of the lap. The last time down from the bridge and 2 last corners to the finish line. The checkered flag is out and Emmerich Turnquist takes the win. Max Karhunen chased him for all 12 minutes, all those 15 laps on the track, but there was no mistake for Emmerich Turnquist. He didn't put a foot wrong, and there was no opportunity to Max Karhunen to get in front of him. Turnquist takes the win. He was second in a first heat. Max Karhunen won. Now Turnquist takes the win and Max Karhunen is second, so the same amount of points for them through the both heats today. Fabrizio Kallio comes home third in front of Edward Keziks, who gets fourth place in this heat. Julien Bianchi is fifth, then Bourgeois, Nino Brey, Timoleon Dupin, and at the end of top 10, Edouard Varkel and Wouter Popeliers, then Jérôme Bianchi, Rémi Panetier, and Tani Poria. At the end of the classification in P13. Group B are now preparing for finals. We are waiting for Group A on the track. Emmerich Turnquist, after great qualifying in those 2 laps, actually 1 lap in the first flying, he did that. He set his best lap time, 47.4, and with only a few hundredths of a second qualified in front of Max Karhunen. It seems like Karhunen was a faster whole race, but there was no chance for him to overtake, and those few hundredths of a second were crucial for Turnquist and Karhunen. That was the order how they went through the whole race. Here is fight with Wouter Popelier and Jérôme Bianchi. Bianchi moves to outside and at the finish line is only in P11. Only one heat left, only one group of drivers already in the go-karts. The weights are checked, the ballast are in, they are in their seats and ready to go racing. One more heat and then we will start finals.
5 years ago now that we've been using the kart. It's been a journey of exploration and learning for the company. It's been really good. You know, the batteries are exactly the same battery as when we launched, which I think is really impressive when you think that we've had well over 2,000 charging cycles. Even with the powertrain, you know, it really means that there's no maintenance with this product, and I think this is really a credit to the guys at Rotax to develop such a robust car. And if you look at the performance, when you consider the weight that we carry at the moment, it is really impressive.
Here we go. Group A on the track. How fast will go Axel Sarniala, who set the absolutely fantastic lap times in the qualifying in the morning and during the first heat on the track. But now we have only 2 flying laps for everyone. Michal Letovanec sets 48.5 right out from the pit lane and without full speed starting the first lap. Maxim Delmotte now with number 22, it's 18 for Francisco Gelstein. Glendy Dionysis in kart number 5, Yeng Yu Ko in 17, Janne Pajunen with 8. It's 11 for Florian Collet, Philippe Mattea with 23, Marko Miskic 26, and Mars Liepinch with 25, Tero Makinen 28, and Axel Sarniala got a karting with number 1 for this heat. Igor Dibash with number 12 and Natalia Astaloso with number 19. First proper qualifying lap, Michal Letovanec sets 47.9, Francisco Gelstein answers with 47.7. Now Letovanec is second, Igor Dibash moves with 47.6 in front of everyone. We are waiting for Axel Sarniala and he goes up to P1 with 47.4, setting new record in the middle of the track. He is fastest there. Michal Letovanec goes 1/10 faster in the beginning of the lap, but is losing time in the middle sector, even slower in the third. And Michal Letovanec is in P4 over the finish line in this qualifying. Janne Pajunen behind him. Maxim Delmotte did not improve in last lap, stays P6 in front of Florian Collet. One more fast lap for Axel Sarniala, 47.4 already for him. Francisco Gelstein did not improve in last lap. Axel Sarniala coming to an end of the lap, checkered flag is out. Sarniala still flying through the last sector, and one more great lap for Axel Sarniala. 47.3. That is half a second slower than his absolutely best lap times so far. But anyway, that is more than enough. With 0.3 of a second over everyone else, Axel Sarniala is in P1 for this second heat. Francisco Gelstein will start second, Igor Dibash third, Michal Letovanec fourth, P5 for Janne Pajunen on the start. Maxim Delmotte will start 6th. Then comes Philippe Mattea in 7th. Florian Collet from P8, followed by Tero Makinen and Glendy Dionysis. Mars Liepinch starting P11. Then Natalia Astalosova, Yeng Yu Ko and Marko Miskic. Those 2 laps were enough for Axel Sarniala to set absolutely fastest lap time within this group, and it seems like the fastest lap time between every group for this short qualifying. So Sarniala got the best lap time in the first qualifying in the morning, also with extra points for overall ratings. He took the win in the first heat, and now 2 laps were enough for Axel Sarniala to set the best lap time. Not so fast as he went before, but anyway, enough faster than everyone else. 0.3 faster than Gelstein and Dibash. And it seems like 47.3 anyway is the best lap time in this short 2 laps qualifying between every other group of drivers. So still absolutely fantastic is Axel Sarniala in this direction of the track. Yesterday he had 3rd best lap time in the qualifying and was fighting whole day for the step on the podium, but was pushed out at the very last moments. He was off the podium, but anyway tied on points with Max Karhunen, who took the 3rd place in the final yesterday. Anyway, Axel Sarniala with today's performance is not fighting for the place on the podium. He is fighting for the overall win in the SWS E-Series Sprint here in Wavre. Now, Axel Sarniala with number 1 in front of everyone, 0.3 of a second. That should be a big enough gap to pull away, but we will see. we have seen already before. Drivers with a better lap times not able to pull away and even losing positions during the race. Now we have 12 more minutes to go. Racing in the second heat, the safety car through the last corners going on the starting straight, and green flag on the starting straight goes down, and we are racing again. Sarniala in front, fight for a second behind him. There is a pushed outside Mars Liepinch in 25, fighting hard now through the third and fourth corner on the track. Glendi Dionysis has lost one place to Mars Liepinch, then Astalosova, Ko and Miskic at the end of the pack, but Axel Sarniala is leading. Francisco Gelstein behind, and Dibash, Litvanets, Pajonen, Delmot, Matea, Kolle, Makinen, everyone in the same order as started. The first lap coming to an end, so Francisco Gelstein still holding the line behind Axel Sarniala, still pretty close behind, 0.4. That's the advantage Axel Sarniala has got through the first lap. Francisco Gelstein was very fast at the beginning of the qualifying, setting absolutely identical lap time with Baptiste van der Beek, but as they went out on the track in the first in the Group G this morning, they were overtaken by many other drivers, and at the end of the qualifying, Francisco Gelstein was 8th fastest overall, and now has got the start in one session with Axel Sarniala. That's an opportunity actually for Francisco Gelstein. Watch the lines of Axel Sarniala, see where is he gaining, but it seems like there is not much time for Francisco Gelstein to watch this, as Axel Sarniala is increasing his gap for one more tenth of a second after second lap. 2 minutes spent on the track. Gelstein still after Sarniala, 0.5 between them, but Igor Dibash and Michal Letovanec are falling further back already. There is a gap more than 1 second between second and third place. Here we fight for P5. Janne Pajonen in 8. Maxim Delmot stays behind, and Michal Letovanec somehow managed to hold his 4th place on the track now. Number 1 of Axel Sarniala through the starting straight. 1 more tenth added to his gap in front. 0.6 already. Is holding great speed. Francisco Gelstein. His qualifying lap was 0.7 of a second slower than Sarniala's, but anyway it was 7th or 8th best lap time overall. But now Francisco Gelstein is doing everything to hold at the back of Axel Sarniala as long as he can, to not let the other Finnish driver away, to see the lines, to see where is he gaining. Sarniala already setting lap time of 47.3, 10th better than his qualifying time in qualifying before this race. But there is Francisco Gelstein. He has found something. He is coming back to 1/10 of a second faster than Axel Sarniala. It's again 0.5 between both Finns at the front. They are pulling away from everyone else. Igor Dibash is 3rd, chased by Michal Letovanec, Janne Pajonen and Maxim Delmot. But Sarniala and Gelstein pulling away, and still Gelstein manages to hold with Axel Sarniala and not let him drive away. 0.5. The gap is decreased again. Number 1 down from the bridge at the end of the lap. 0.5 between them. 0.5 again is Francisco Gelstein, driving the same lap times as Axel Sarniala. Sarniala improves to 47.2, and the same goes to Francisco Gelstein. Only 6 thousandths of a second has lost in this lap. Francisco Gelstein now, he is going at the same speed as Axel Sarniala, even improving now in the first sector of the lap, losing in the second. There are 0.2 of a second. Now, a lot of time lost in the second sector for Francisco Gelstein, but it seems like Maybe he spotted where Axel Sarnell is gaining his speed and now is very close to the fastest driver of this day here in Wavre. One more lap completed, 1/10 away goes Axel Sarnell, still 0.6 between him and Francisco Gelstein. Great drive from Francisco Gelstein. They are faster than everyone else and moving away from the Bosch at the pace of 2 or 3 or even more tenths per lap. Sarnell and Gelstein are far away. Here 28 of Terro Mäkinen and Mars Lepinch fighting for P9. But Axel Sarnell completing one more lap and still absolutely the same speed from Francisco Gelstein. It seems like Gelstein knows what Sarnell is doing and where he got his speed. It's 47.2 and now the new lap record goes to Francisco Gelstein. It is 2 thousandths of a second. Axel Sarnell was slower in this lap. Anyway, 0.6 between them and Francisco Gelstein clocking very competitive lap times already. Far better than his best performance in a morning qualifying and in the first race. Now Gelstein is chasing Sarnell. Maybe there is not question about who is winning, but now there is a question how fast can go Francisco Gelstein, and is this a maximum Axel Sarnell can do? We know he went into the 46.8 seconds in the first qualifying and also in the first heat. Now he's driving 47.2, gaining back 600ths of a second in this lap. But Francisco Gelstein answers with a new best sector time in the first part of the track. Still losing 2/10 in a middle part in a second sector and gaining back in a third. So Francisco Gelstein manages the same speed as Axel Sarnell. One more lap completed and this time this is 1/10 of a second. Sarnell goes faster and it is 0.7 between both Finns at the front. Igor de Bosch is still third but losing to the leaders almost 4 seconds and chased by Michal Letovanec, Janne Pajunen and Maxim Delmotte. This is number one of Axel Sarnell, 0.7 in front of Gelstein. Gelstein improved a lot his own lap times chasing Sarnell, but it seems like this is it. He lost a tenth in the first sector, lost 1/10 more in a second sector. Now is pulling away Axel Sarnell, 0.7 between on previous lap. Now going through the last corners, one more lap completed, 0.9. It's already 1 second. Even faster is going Axel Sarnell, improving to 47.1. Francisco Gelstein stays on 47.2, which anyway is the fastest lap times of this day as Francisco Gelstein has been driving. So he improved a lot chasing Sarnell in the first part of this race. Now he's falling back slowly, the gap is increasing. There is actually no need to take any risks for Francisco Gelstein. Igor de Bosch is too far away to chase him. There is more than 3 seconds between them, and Sarnell seems like is just a little bit too quick for everyone. Also the next lap, 47.1 for Sarnell, 47.2 for Francisco Gelstein. Gelstein improves his best lap time, but anyway that is 400ths of a second slower than Sarnell. Last 3 minutes to fight on the track. De Bosch is third, leaving Letovanec, Pajunen and Delmotte fighting for 4th, 5th and 6th positions. De Bosch moves away. There is a gap between him, 1.1 second already. Not big, but big enough to be at least safe and not looking back over the shoulder for Igor de Bosch. He is running third, and we have 2.5 minutes to go in this race. This is a final heat before the last break and before the biggest races here in Wavre, Belgium. After a break, after this heat, we will start the finals. 2 minutes to go. Sarniala leading 0.7 again. Very, very fast goes Francisco Gelstein. Now he's got the one record lap of this race again with 47.0. That's more than half a second faster than he went in the morning qualifying. Axel Sarniala 0.7 in front. Francisco Gelstein is improving at the end of the race. Can we see a fight for the win between both Finns at the front of the pack? Is Igor Dibash also 4.4 behind Gelstein, but Gelstein is driving closer and closer to Axel Sarniala. 1.5 minutes to go. Sarniala leading, Gelstein second, Dibash third, but Letovanets, Pajonen and Delmotte, number 28 and 22, fighting on the track for P4. Then Florian Collet in P7, and then Matea Makinen, Lepinch, Dionysis, Astalosova and Ko within 1 second after each other. Hard fight also for the places outside of top 10. The two leaders coming to an end of the lap. Number 1 down from the bridge, followed by Francisco Gelstein, 0.8. Again, one record fast lap time from Francisco Gelstein. Can Axel Sarniala go faster? Maybe he is not showing all his secrets on the track. Maybe Gelstein has seen enough and now knows what to do, but he is going 47.0. It was 47.5 for Gelstein in the morning, and now he is in 47.0. And in this race, also Axel Sarniala goes 47.0. 400ths of a second is the fastest lap time of Francisco Gelstein, better than Axel Sarniala. We have last seconds on the track. The checkered flag is out. Axel Sarniala takes the win, but Francisco Gelstein improves his lap times, improves his speed during this race a lot. Igor Dibash is third, Mikhail Letovanets fourth, Janne Pajonen fifth, then Maxim Delmotte in P6. Florian Collet comes 7th, then Philippe Matea, Tero Makinen in P9, Mars Lepinch 10th, then Glendi Dionysis, Natalia Stalosova, Yeng Yu Ko and Marko Miskic. That's it for the heat. This company will not be the same on the track. Now we will do the new groups of drivers according to the results of both heats combined. Axel Sarniala won both heats in his group. Max Karhunen and Emrik Törnqvist swapped the positions from one heat to another. David Maciero took 2 wins today. Patrick Porta was first in the morning, but third now in a second heat, and it was Loic Martin who took the win in a second heat in his group. Sasha Mabillot took 2 wins today, but Enzo Gagnage was first and fifth, and Alex Mrotko took the win in a second race, and Baptiste Vanderberg and Clement Esposito from the first group were first and second in both races. So the heats are over. There are the fights from Group A, where Axel Sarniala was leading and Francisco Gelstein chasing him. 2 flying Finns at the front of everyone. Gelstein managed to do 47.037, absolutely fantastic lap time, even by a small margin better than Axel Sarniala. But Sarniala anyway takes the win and is first. There was more than 3 tenths between their lap time at the qualifying, but during the race Gelstein improved by more than half a second and went to 47.0. There were no overtakings between leaders. Sarniala won, Gelstein second, then Dibash, Letovanets, Pajonen and Delmotte. Quite lonely race for Florian Collet in 7th place. Here it's number 23 of Philip Mattea. That was Tero Mäkinen fighting with him, but anyway, Mattea held his 8th place on the track and went over the finish line in P8 in front of Tero Mäkinen. But Axel Sarniala is the fastest driver of this day here in Wavre, and only in a second heat and only by 400ths of a second, Francisco Gelstein set faster lap time than Axel Sarniala, but anyway, on the track he was behind, on the track he was second, and he got less points than Axel Sarniala, who is still fighting for the championship title.